Hey, Coach, the difference between a good team and a great team is consistency. How can you make this consistent throughout?
Well, it's not optional anymore. If you're going to play hard, you're going to be on the floor. If not, you're going to be on the bench. That's where we are right now. And every practice is going to be hard. It's not going to be any more practices to cater to anybody's knick-knack injuries or anything like that. It's just this is where we are.
Petty, I feel like in the back, I feel like most people would agree that this is the most talented team in the conference, just a matter of effort and energy on a night in, night out basis. But if you guys play like this every night, what is still capable for this team?
Yeah, if we play at this level, we can win out. This conference tournament included. That's just who we are if we play this way. And again, it can't be optional. And I told the guys that we can't play musical chairs again trying to find it. The starters have to start with the right attitude and the right energy and the right effort, and then the bench has to come in and do the same thing. It just is what it is right now.
Penny, the exact opposite game from the SMU game on Sunday. Is there a point over the last few days where you saw from the team that this was going to be a good result tonight?
Yeah, obviously when we got back from Dallas, we practiced. And, again, I put the orange bubbles, the stoppers in the rims, and we went 45 minutes on box outs and transition defense. That's about toughness. We won all the toughness stats tonight. That's what we haven't been given on a nightly basis. I don't know why it's been optional. We've tried to stick with the starters for a very long time because we're depending on them to give the heavy lifting. And when they're not playing hard and they're just not interested at all, it makes it look like we are a really bad team because you can't depend on the bench. We don't really have a strong, overwhelming bench. We have talent, but it's not strong, overwhelming, especially defensively and with physicality. And if the starters don't do it, then we got to depend on guys that really don't have that much experience.
Hey, Coach. Donovan McLemore here with Grind City Hoops. What is your vision for building a championship team here at Memphis?
Well, for me, it starts with defense and rebounding because that's what great championship teams do, and being tough. That's what we've always had here. Really disappointed in how we played this season, how we represented ourselves, the school, and the city. And it's just nice like this to make you scratch your head. We played well against Tulane, played well the first half against Temple, and then you go to North Texas and have a bad offensive night and then get competed and then didn't compete 1 minute in the first half of the SMU game and then press the entire second half. So it's like when we come out with the focus, again, they have the answers to the test before every game. We know exactly what guys are going to do. No guy in that locker room can say we're not prepared, even though I take the hit all the time. They just have to bring the energy and the effort. It just is what it is.
Coach, you put Joe Cooper out there with like 10 minutes left, and he really kind of flipped the game. He brought energy on defense and hit the three ball in the corner. Like, what do you see from him when you put him out there and really what he provides on both ends?
What I see the most is the care factor. He's a Memphis guy, Memphis kid, homegrown. This is a dream situation for him to be playing in the Memphis Tigers uniform, and every moment he's going to savor, and you're going to see why he plays the way he plays because he's trying to represent the city in a good fashion, and he's pulling some people along with him.
How much has just running the offense been a point of emphasis the last few?
Yeah, it's been a big point of emphasis, especially tonight because we get too wild. We get moments where JQ and David, they go one-on-one and take bad shots sometimes. So does Jaquan Walton. So does Naquan Tomlin. And we just start taking bad shots and not running our offense. So today I put together a set of plays that we were going to stick with the entire game. So we would make teams work on our offensive end instead of taking quick shots and having to go back and not play defense and not rebound and then give them a lead. That's what's been going on. So I scripted the whole entire game today defensively, switching up defenses and putting a package of offensive plays together that I knew we were going to have to get from strong to weak side.
Penny, you talked about being a target a little bit, but I'm curious, have you also heard from people that have been in your corner throughout this process, and how have you responded to that, and what does that
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. For the fans that hang in there, you understand that people have problems. We all have problems. This is just such a massive change in this 3 weeks or a month of going on a 10-game win streak and then just imploding right in front of our eyes, and it's more shocking to me than anybody because I'm living it. I'm in it every single day. I know what the fabric of this team is, but to the fans that hung in there and was like, hey, we're going to get back, we appreciate that because a real fan is somebody that's going to stick with you through the good and the bad. We understand the criticism is going to come, but some of it gets personal, and some of these young men, they read that, and it makes them go further in the hole, and it's my job to try to pick them up every day. That's why I take the bullets, because you can say what you want to say about me. I know where my heart is, but I do appreciate the fans for hanging in there with us. The job is not done, but this game was for the people, for ourselves, and for the people who are really rallying behind us.
Penny, you were obviously livid on Sunday, and rightfully so. You know, you called out some of your players, and Monday did it again. How did they respond to that? Did guys kind of shut down initially, or did they kind of take that as a challenge?
No, they took it as a challenge this time. In the past, it was shut down. You know, and I mean, nobody's going to feel sorry for us. When you look at last four in, first four out, and all that, and our name isn't anywhere, and where we were a month ago, that should fuel you enough. This city is about toughness. Where's your pride? Fight and scrap no matter if you win or lose a game, but give an effort every single time. Not one effort, but multiple efforts. And they took the challenge. They accepted it.
It's my question. Feels like at times as your adversity's hit and you thought you were going to get a response from this group and they haven't responded in the way that you wanted to immediately. After Sunday, did you finally get the ticked off group that you've wanted when that adversity is hit?
Absolutely. I hate that it took this much adversity and this much losing for them to finally get to the point of, man, we're in danger. The danger sign's been going off to me since we lost to South Florida, because I know momentum. Momentum can go the other way, and momentum went the other way on us. And then we regrouped. It just, I don't know how you don't sustain that when you know your livelihood is on the line. Your chances of making the NCAA tournament was on that Texas swing, and to go out like that just, it worries me, you know. And I just said, hey, this is where it's at, man. And I asked one question, have we let go of the rope? And they said no. I said, well, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to do it this way every single time. They accepted the challenge.
Coach, 14 offensive rebounds tonight compared to Charlotte's 4. How much did that play a role in today's home victory?
Played a huge role because it's what we set out to do. We're not a great offensive rebounding team. We're not a great defensive rebounding team. So we talked about just hitting today, not just rebounding, but actually hitting with physicality, because that's what it's going to take for people to stop coming in and rebounding on us. We usually get hit first and then shy away from the contact. Today, the 14 offensive rebounds is the byproduct of 2 days in a row with those stoppers in and hitting those pads 45 minutes. It just is what it is.
You mentioned a second ago how the at-large hopes are basically over at this point. Did it help you guys a little bit to not necessarily be playing with nothing to lose, but with less to lose tonight?
You know, it's really weird. We're just fueled to try to get momentum in an area before we go to the conference tournament, and we want to finish strong, because we feel like if we get momentum off of a game like this and we keep building momentum and we win out, then we got a great chance to go into Dallas and win that conference tournament. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't do this tonight and then come back against FAU and not fight. You got to consistently do it over and over and over again and let the chips fall where they may. So for us, the motivation was to redeem ourselves from SMU and then to get some momentum going into the tournament.
And speaking of the conference tournament, do you guys still have any hope that you can maybe move into that top 4 and have to play just 3 in 3 days, or are you mentally preparing to play 4 in 4 days at this point?
You never know what can happen with the rest of the season and how the committee, because we have a lot of quad 1 wins. We've done our work early and lost late. You really don't want to lose late. You want to lose early and win late. So we put ourselves in a bind. But if you win out and you just continue to win and you win in this fashion, then maybe you get a little leniency. Maybe you get a little someone there to go, maybe Memphis is back. So that's all we have right now. That's what we put ourselves into, and we got to get ourselves out of it.
Real quick, Penny, how's David? Is he okay? I know he seemed like, do you know what happened there?
I don't know. For him not to come back, then it was bad. And he didn't know whether we were winning or losing. I think his eyeball got scratched. Okay. And I don't know. He was okay on the sideline, but very blurry.
And then you had mentioned you're going to play the guys who were really bought in, and obviously you had some injuries tonight that held some guys out. But in general, when you were picking, you mentioned the starters. Like, did you see the response that you wanted out of your rotation in terms of how you were doing it? Because it seemed like you didn't really make drastic changes, but ultimately it it was a drastic change in performance. Like, how did you like the response you got early in the game?
It was a drastic change in energy. You know, we have to turn these guys up way too much instead of turning them down. And with the same guys, they took the challenge. They gave multiple efforts the entire game, not just one play, but the entire game, and they stuck to the game plan. They didn't break the game plan up. They knew what we were trying to do, and they were locked in on that from when we got back from Dallas. So for me, the challenge was there, and I saw with my own eyes multiple efforts the entire night from the bench, from the coaches, and from the players. We were locked in on that.
Did you like that Jaquan kind of technical before playing?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I told him we just got to be the most physical team from this point on, no matter what.
Coach, great win, but obviously you got a few days off now. How are you going to challenge your team with this time off to prepare for a tough FAU team that's going to come in here on Sunday?
Yeah, we have tomorrow off, and we respect FAU a lot. We got to protect home court, and we just got to be who we were tonight. It's just got to be some consistency to that. So after tomorrow's day off, which is much needed because we have a ton of injuries, and then we'll come back to practice and be ready to get back after it.
There's a two-parter. The first half, they shot 57%, but yet you were able to take the lead in that first half. How you do that, and what did you do in the second half to hold them down to 17 points?
Yeah, first half, we were slow on rotations. The intent was there, but we were still like a step slow, and they got some threes. We're trying to take the three-pointers away from them. Second half, we did. We took it away. You know, I think Lakai Patterson, when he got into foul trouble, that definitely disrupted them. And when he came back into the game, we just stayed steady on what we were doing. And we watched film at halftime and made the adjustments and said we're just taking things away. That's what Memphis teams do. We disrupt and take things away. And we haven't been doing that recently because there hasn't been a full buy-in. And now that there's full buy-in, you know, the sky's the limit for us now.